Gamer, how you doing? We've got technical issues, people. Give me a moment. Angela, Alfie, Adiola, how you doing? Ah, OBS. Hold on, I'll be back in 2 secs. Just got to restart OBS. Hello. Are we back? That is the question. We're back. Fantastic. Okay. I've just got to connect my headphones. Zach A, what's going on, man? Oh, I haven't had too many in the last little bit, so we're due. We're due for some excitement, you know? Let's have a look. Go live on Instagram, see how that goes. Fantastic. Now, output to Twitch. And away we go. Just got to get Twitch chat and then we're ready to do some stuff. My deepest apologies, everyone, for wasting your time. Pop out chat, and here we go. All right, we got this, the trifecta of chats in front of me. What's your favorite snack to eat when you draw? Nothing. That's interesting. I've not put those two together, eating and drawing at the same time. David, hey man, when's Dre coming out? Hopefully within the next month is the plan. I'm starting to roll it out to the students in the workshop, which is cool. Getting them to test it. Zach A, I'm just multi-streaming out to Twitch. Oh, I'm just multi-streaming. There's really nothing too fancy. Let's see if we've got everything here working. Yeah, that's the hope, gamer. That's the hope. Fingers crossed. We've said dates before. We've said time frames before. It is going to be what it's going to be. It's ready when it's ready. Fresh fruit and sketching is a match made in heaven. I like that. All I can think of is like sticky fingers though. I'd have to have to do it like with a fork or something. M-U-C-Y-O. I like your art. Thank you so much. All right, today I wanted to play around with a couple of things. This fella right here, I just want to paint some forms, you know? Just have some fun, whip some shapes around, paint some forms, just straight off the bat. And this is a beautiful sculpt by Darren E. Marshall. Right, he's done all these other beautiful sculpts like this one here. I think we've done this one like a long time ago. But I love these ones. They always pop up. And I thought, yeah, why not do a little bit of the jubber? And then I was thinking, if it's okay with you, I want to try a different lighting scenario with some kind of like nighttime scenes, maybe something like this kind of vibe, or I think they were in the cars. Either some nighttime scenes like this, or like I like this one because it's got like a little bit of a specular reflection. I like these ones, so something along these lines. We'll circle back and sort of pick out one of these ones, and then I want to add another dinosaur into the scene to make it like fit. I reckon it'll be fun. I want to name that something. Adding dinosaurs to scenes. I call it fun, but we should like try a different dinosaur. Like because I always go a Brontosaurus, just because I like it. And I'm going to try and just do it with a flat chalky brush, this guy as well. See how far we can get just with like the hard, like kind of shapes going. Everything all sorted. Everything's running. Fantastic. Okay. Let us commence. But mind you, this is false advertising if they think this is lo-fi hip hop. Give me something. Yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. It's not lo-fi hip hop though. Don't you pretend. You imposter. So we did yesterday, Stegosaurus filling up the gas tank. I don't mind that. Sam Kelly, what's going on? Alright, let's have a play here. So let's get that like kind of cool little background going, you know. Got to shuffle a couple of these windows around. Just there we are. Beautiful. All right. So this is the challenge. Hard brush. Oh, I should give you guys the reference as well, shouldn't I? Be a good Samaritan. Where are we? Pinterest. Where did I throw him? I think he shall be in the sculpting. Did I miss that? Environment, cast, sculpture. There we go. Boom. Boom. There you go. All right. Lucy, I've got no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about entering passwords? Mind you, I could have missed some, I don't know, I'm missing some context here. All right, so we've got our something, right? Our background. Cool. Let's start carving. I'm just going to go shapes for like straight away shapes. Okay. I'm going local colors first. So I'm just going to whip in what I see to begin with. All right, little diamond shape. Let's see how far we can get with just our simple shapes. Okay, I might actually want to take it easy with how intense we go with any of these lights to begin with. I might just want to start blocking in some of these shadow-ish kind of shapes. to start with, because the occlusion shadows here is going to be carrying it a fair way. Melissa, how you doing? Candace, how you doing? Welcome. So yeah, did the first class of the grey matter painting light and value from imagination yesterday, which was good. I was bloody nervous, if I'm honest. Like, it went well. My issue is I just want to keep talking and just keep going and going and going and going and going, because there's so much depth to this light and shadow stuff. But no, it's good fun. Good fun. This is not lo-fi hip-hop. I don't know what you're talking about. Hashtag lo-fi hip-hop. Let's try that again. Maybe we go the genre. We need a little bit of something. There we go. Okay. Let's squint down. We're going to go very subtle. Even with this one material, there's like subtle color shifts, which is cool. The shifts are actually warm, but the idea of it, that there's color shifts just in a clay, is, I find that cool. Also been looking up stuff to get ready for the trip over to the USA. Toss it up whether I rent a car or not, because Ubers are bloody crazy expensive. But at the same time, so is renting a car. So kind of screwed either way. But I am counting the days, the minutes, the seconds until I touch down. One thing that was crazy when I touched down last time was I think it was fog or smog, maybe fog in LAX. How like apparently apparently we landed, but I couldn't see anything out the bloody window. It was crazy foggy. Get on Lyft instead of Uber. Good tip. Rent a car for sure, way less expensive than Uber. That's what I did last year's Lightbox. Yeah, I'm tossing up between that. I think what I might do is I might plan out my trip a little bit more. So then instead of, because I'm planning to go there for about a month, I reckon. So renting a car for a month gets pretty pricey. But if I can maybe rent it for like a week or a week or so, maybe could be the way to go. So really hovering around here in the local values kind of thing. I'm not really thinking about light or, well, I'm a little bit, that's a lie. Thinking about a little bit about light or shadow, but I'm trying to find those like little color shifts here and there. Scooting up the I don't even know what I was trying to say there. The plain Janes I made. The one grey one and one painted one. Gonna go to a art gallery thing tonight where they're gonna be there on display, which is cool. I'll take some photos and bring them back for next stream. So it's gonna be fun. Lyft is cheaper for the consumer and pays the driver more than Uber. Good to know, actually. Miss Trin, welcome back. Mritunjay, how you doing? Let's have a look here. So yeah, just getting these color shifts in, you know, just scooting them in there. Very chilled kind of vibe today. Nothing too intense. Mind you, I don't know when I always say that. I don't know when we're really that intense. I appreciate it, my friend. Ritanjay, you too. I like the work you're doing over there at Force. Let's add in more of that real deep orange. He's a little bit pointy on top. Renting, definitely just make sure you reserve it in advance, because last time it cost me $300 USD for 2 days for like, oh shit. Yeah, yeah. If I'm gonna do it, I'll do it like well in advance. 300 for 2 days, buddy. What were you renting? A bloody Ferrari? Holy shit! Oh, Manuel, how long will you be in the States? About a month, I think. About a month. Might do a little sneaky trip up to New York. That'll be fun. That'll be cool. Students who study your work for shape design. Ah, you bloody legend. Ah, that means a lot, man. Kelbell, welcome back. Can you turn your mic up? My apologies. I think it could be just me. My speaking. Yeah, let me know, everyone. As a 1's in the chat if it's too low. 2's in the chat if it's just right. 3's in the chat if it's too high. Casey, appreciate ya. Kelbell, I'm not. 2? Kelbell. How you doing, Casey? Bugger. Yeah, it's always tricky, that. Some people, it's always on the quiet side. All right. I'm going to just notch it up. I think it also could be me, because these mics are very sensitive. Like if I start talking over here, you can probably barely hear me. They're very like directional. So I'll keep it 1.5, bad practice. Okay. Testing. Scooch it up just a tad. I just don't want to clip. That's all. Test. 1, 2, 3. Should be a little bit better. Hello. I also was looking up for like branding. I want to get like a different color one of these. I'm not sure what color. 2? Nice. Beautiful. Like I was thinking maybe like a blue, like with the foam things. Hopefully that's a little bit better, Kelbell. Make sure to do plenty of studies of people in New York if you get the chance. Bloody good call. The fashion is so interesting, and you're sure to find some interesting subjects to inspire your art. Bloody good call. Yeah, I'm going to be hopefully doing a bit more sketchbooking, because the gentleman that I'll be sharing a booth with, Mr. Rembert Montold, he got me into sketchbooking. So I'll have a little bit more practice. So I should really ramp that up a little bit, actually, before going. Because I'd never tried a brush pen before last trip. I hadn't touched a felt tip pen for a good decade. But yeah, thinking about like what should we do? Like, not so much activities, let's say, but like what? Well, I guess it's at our booth. I might do similar to what I did last year, where I'll just sit there and draw, like have a Cintiq or whatever sort of tablet with a screen going. That could be a plan. And then what else? And we can get some people over for some demos. Could be kind of cool. Like, so Rembert and I've been going, we gotta start prepping for that. Miss Trin, I cannot get enough of inking. It's my favorite medium, even when sketching. Yeah, it is good fun, right? And those the fountain pens. Got one of those the other month. It was. Oh, I've got to refill it actually. But that was like an eye opener. That was like, hell yeah, this feels good. It's like good. It's something. This is the thing, right? The digital artists, we try everything we can to get something feeling traditional, where you get so much of that for free. Just the grittiness, the texture, just traditionally, right? Is the event you're talking about Lightbox? Yes, bad practices. If so, do you have any artists you're excited to try and meet? None off the top of my head, if I'm honest. I'm just looking forward to the vibes, you know? Like that last trip gave me inspiration. Like just a hit of inspiration that lasted me a good few months. It was just like, because over here, at least me personally, I'm not really in contact with too many people except the guys over at CDW that are like doing this stuff, and I'm certainly not in contact with anyone that's doing the sort of content side of things over here either. But just seeing people doing stuff and getting around, like that kind of environment is sick, you know? You can't beat it. Doing good, ready for some art inspo with Ben time. Nice. You're going to be at Lightbox? Me too. Oh, Casey, fantastic. I'll see you there then. Yeah, definitely. Did you share a table with Rembert last time too? No, I had my own table. I was on my lonesome. Which was cool. There's nothing wrong with it. I just thought it would be fun to pair up and have some fun, you know. I've never been to Lightbox. Super excited for the fire hose of inspiration. That's what it's like, right? I'm sure I'll get looking around. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. No, I'm really looking forward to it. see if I can start getting some of these darker tones. All right, we've got our kind of blocked hinge shapes a little bit, you know. Hero, thanks for yesterday's class. What are you drawing? Is it from Blender? I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, thank you for popping in. What are you drawing? No, this is a sculpt. This is a traditional clay sculpt. I'll mention the guy's name earlier. But yeah, if you go up, there's a link in chat to get the same reference as well, if you'd like to follow along. Evan GXLIA. My apologies for the butcher. Which platform are you most present on? Probably YouTube and Instagram. Currently. I'm not as present on anything as much as I want to be at the moment. But yeah, so I would say YouTube and Instagram are my main platforms where you'd find me most often. I really like this this kind of expression this guy's got. So I'm trying to do this all with this one brush. Let's have a look here now. Everything's got to be in context, right? So I'm just manually coming through. I could do layer modes, and I'm not going to say that I'm not going to do layer modes, but I'm trying. Depends how fast we can get something looking okay here. Because layer modes to me are just a means to an end. What am I want to understand why the layer modes are working more so than just using them just because, you know. Also, I wouldn't mind cracking open the Hage. If you don't, there's another one for Windows. I can't remember what it's called, but this sort of smooth, this like operating system wide smooth tool thing here. It's called the Hage, H-E-J thing. Recommend giving it a shot. If you were to use another brush in this piece, what would it be? Probably a more texture filled brush, but I'm not even at that stage to think about texture just yet. I really just want to nail down these forms. I'm swapping back and forth in my thinking between like 2D and 3D. Like, what am I observing and what's actually happening? There's like some interesting things happening here. The neck. I've been getting more and more interested in the subtleties of midtones recently. Like how shapes in the light, how we can describe shapes in the light, because there's one thing to be like, all right, there's a full shadow shape, you know, and you just block that shadow shape in and you can get form. It's what Sargent was really good at, which was like the really subtle value shifts in the light. How do you pick your colors? Big question. At the moment, I'm kind of just looking at the reference and pushing it a little bit more, right? So I see a lot of oranges and even pinks in this clay, like slightly. So then I'm just pushing that way more in this particular case. Prashant, what's going on, dude? Great to have you back. Hope you're doing well. How'd that sword session go? Christian knee. What's happening, dude? Good luck on the flight, though. Yeah, the flight's gonna suck. I've got to find some amazing sleeping tablets. Thinking of impulse buying a new e-bike. Every time we talk about impulse buying something, we end up buying it. So it's already bought. You've already got it. It just hasn't materialized yet. Christian's the reason I got this like expensive for me camera. Why I got a Cintiq. Why? Yeah, I went and bought a whole bunch of shit. We're bad influences. Got to have it for when you're out here. Oh, dude, imagine. Oh, there you go. Justifying it. When you're drawing faces, do you ever make the facial expression you're trying to draw to figure it out? It can feel a bit silly, but it helps me sometimes. 1,000%. 1,000%. I probably got hours of video of me on stream when I'm doing expressions of just... It does help. I don't know why. Do you have any favorite / inspirational artists? There's honestly not too many to choose from, really. But I mean, you got your standards. You got your JC Leyendecker. You got your Norman Rockwells. Who else? You got your Jin Kims. You got your Kim Jong-gis. You got lots of people. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I was doing a quick color study the other day, and it had a blue background. When I changed the background to be more white, the colors looked awful to me. Is that supposed to happen? Without seeing the reference, I don't know. But if you're doing a color study and you change the background, the interesting thing about color and light and that sort of thing is going to be very dependent on the environment that it's sitting in. So if you go and change the background, it would be a good idea to keep in mind, or take into account at the very least, how that's going to affect the surface of the object or the thing that you're going to draw. Because the reason that you're seeing that background in the first place is because of a light source. If that light source is then influencing both the background and the object, then it could really affect it. What is this? Christmas? It's not Christmas. It's August. I would love it if they could figure out licensing for music that's affordable for streams, so I can just put on music that I would. Why are we still in Christmas mode? Fourth, what's going on? Leaks Art, welcome. Great to have you. So yeah, we're still we're creeping up on the values, right? We're not really going full steam ahead of all right, let's block in the darkest darks and the lightest lights. I like to work like this sometimes. There's probably 4 or 5 different ways that I like to paint. Probably more, because I take a little bit from each. It's all dependent on how I'm feeling. What's the vibes like? Slowly creeping up. Maybe we do a little bit of the old opacity. Allow us to make some of these gradients. Still using that same brush though. Haven't changed the brush at all. The real chisely brush. I really like this guy's expression. Bone Brew, what's going on? Jackie, how you doing? Adam Martin, how you going? Great to have you. Also, Jackie's got she's doing a bunch of trips all over the place. So Jackie Druko, my apologies for butchering your last name. Go check that out. If you want to go on a wicked, bloody international artistic extravaganza. Highly recommend. Korea's sold out though, right? I think, from what I've seen. Oh, good. No stress. I reckon it'll be good fun. When are you doing your trip? I don't know. It's I'd love to do one. We've got to catch up again soon. I've just been burning the candle at both ends. Yeah, the space state was wicked. Emmanuel. Yeah, my first, your first group trip to Korea is sold out. Jackie sold out Korea. The whole of Korea. Next one launches this week. Oh, keep your eye on that if you're interested. Definitely. Does Jabba get the same color zones as a person? Nah, I don't think so. I'm doing the color zones of clay right now. Manuel, would you two ever do a joint trip? I don't see why not. I'll be down. That'd be good fun. Yeah, the trip seemed like a really, really good time. Thanks, Jackie. Have a good one. You can lift anything from anywhere. Any world, setting, book, movie, whatever. What thing do you wish you could shamelessly lift from what and... Sorry, my brain's not working. You can lift anything from anywhere. Any world, setting, book, movie, whatever. What thing do you wish you could shamelessly lift from what and why? Probably Pixar stuff. Old school Pixar stuff. I love... it's also nostalgic as well for me. Evangelia Arts or Evangelia Arts. What do you use to stream? OBS with... what is it? The vertical plugin. Why are we recording? No. That's what screwed us up last time, I think. I just started accidentally recording because I think I've got a key map to automatically record, but it's also keyed up to something in Photoshop, so just got to keep an eye on that. So see how we're slowly just creeping up on it. It's good fun doing stuff like this. Javom, hello Ben. Greetings from Colombia, South America. Hello. Great to have you. Some good old Woody and Bugs. Yes. Would you have ever done deep dive on the connected world theory? I've heard a little bit about that. I haven't done a deep dive. It would be sick if it was true though. Because I like how they intertwined all the worlds. All right, now we're starting to get into a little bit of the form building, right? Starting to get a little bit of that 3D-ness happening. Also, it's the second pronunciation. Thank you, Evangelina. No, not Evangelina. Evangelia. I forgot the second pronunciation. Appreciate it, Emmanuel. Woody and Bugs. Oh, no. I also liked, what was it? A Bug's Life. That's what I was thinking of when you said Bugs. But yeah, Woody and Bugs. Yeah, definitely. It was like right around the time where, like, yeah, I just play it on repeat. And it just amazed me. The funniest thing was, like, I just clearly remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, when at the end of Pixar movies sometimes, I can't remember if it's all of them, but they would do like blooper reels, you know? And they would have like the boom arm come down and, oh, how hard I laughed as a kid at that stuff. It was unbelievable. Appreciate it, Emmanuel. You have a good one. How many references do you typically use per work? Hard to say, actually. It depends on the work. I mean, in this example, one, you know? Of course, Yexter Napoles. All right, now I want to start. Yeah, oh, Gamer, I remember that. My favorite one was it's probably not gonna hold up. It might do. I just remember playing this on a repeat over and over and over and over again. I think it was A Bug's Life blooper. I think it was Burp or yeah, this one here.
Okay.
I just.
Can we stop? Get me Cindy on the phone.
I just remember as a kid, that one had me rolling on the floor. Holy frick. It's just a charm to it, you know? Like, oh. It was so, yeah. Haven't thought about that in ages. Opinions on the Star Wars sequels. If I'm honest, I don't care that much. If I'm being completely honest. My Star Wars that I grew up with was the sequels. Yeah, I know, Gamer. There's just something about it. I don't know. It was really good. But I mean, are we talking about like the first Star Wars I ever watched was the one with Jar Jar Binks, and Jar Jar Binks was my favorite character. So that's what you can gather from my if you'd want to listen to me about Star Wars stuff, because apparently everyone hates Jar Jar Binks. I loved him. I thought he was so cool. I just loved them. That film got a scene of joy that everyone can see. Yeah, I love the prequels. Nice. Same. Jar Jar was my favorite. There you are. Fantastic. I loved them. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what was wrong with them. Everyone just. But all that kind of came out when I was older. You know, like everyone as a kid that I was growing up around, that was their Star Wars. No one really watched the. No, the old ones, the older ones. We were robbed of the best Sith reveal in history. Imagine. I also like Darth Maul as well. He was sick. I remember drawing him a lot, trying to get all the pattern and everything on his face. Yeah, me too. I was shocked to find out that people hated the prequels. I know. I don't get it. Mind you, I don't care that much either. I was never that invested in them. Yeah, we're just carving at the moment. Really creeping up on these values. Or on the form, really, I should say. On the illusion, on the magic trick. Christian mentioned something to me. Like the way, like a way to describe the thing that we're doing, like all this illusion stuff. It's a magic trick. There's nothing like, that's a cool way to put it. Because there's certain points in a drawing or a painting where you're like, whoa. Even yourself, like I still get, when I add reflected light to stuff, it's still like a lot of fun. And I get that feeling of like, whoa, that's sick. Gabrielle, how you doing? Hey Ben, how are you? Orkin, what's going on, man? Hope it's going well. Going good, man. How you doing? The Darth Jar Jar theory is one that is floated for a while, and if I remember later, confirmed by Filoni or Lucas that it was the original plan, but the studios thought kids wouldn't get it. Ugh. The studios. That could be a fun one. I think I've seen it somewhere, so it wouldn't be like an original thing, but like drawing Jar Jar as like Darth Maul. Gabrielle, first time in chat. Appreciate you popping in. You have some free brushes that you like? Ahmed Outdoors brushes are pretty sick. I'm not sure if they're still free. I haven't checked. But I'm not much of a brush hound, you know. Spider-Man is coming. Yep. This is true. I don't quite feel good in the Photoshop originals. Well, honestly, I'm for me personally, I'm really not that much of a brush enthusiast. I try and make stuff work. Like this, what I'm using right now is literally just like a flat brush with like opacity turned on. That's it. It's 5 a.m. Orkin, good morning to you. You guys are nuts that are getting up so early. I appreciate it though. I've got to squat his head down a little bit. All right, let's have a look here. What can we do? What's popping out to me? We have been cruising on this guy for quite a while, but personally, I'm having a lot of fun. $3 a.m. Man. That's when you start to feel a little bit older, when you're like, oh, I couldn't imagine. I used to be able to pull all-nighters like it was nothing. Super unhealthy, mind you. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like a badge of honor. I was like, yeah, I pulled an all-nighter. It's pretty stupid. It ruins you for the next, like, however many days. At least me. Some people can handle it. I cannot do that anymore, unfortunately. Darth Jar Jar is such a funny thought, but so deviously, deliciously good. Did you get into Star Trek as a kid as well? Nah, I never got into Star Trek. Didn't click for me. I was very much like a Pixar, Toy Story, Jurassic Park kind of kid. See, now the groundwork that we've laid down for this fella is paying off when we add the specular highlights, right? I can barely stay up to 10 p.m. I know, right? But you've also got little ones. I appreciate it, Bone Brew. We're crazy art followers. Time doesn't matter. Oh, man. Let's have a look. I think we can knock in a little bit more of these darks, right? Get a bit of clarity in here. See, these kind of paintings I could just go for a long time. But I would like to play around with those other references. I pulled an all-nighter once to finish an animation project. Came into school to give it to my teacher, and he sent me home because of how destroyed it. Oh, yeah, good teacher, by the way. Hats off. Mohit Guranani. When I want the example of what passion and discipline looks like, I watch. Oh, appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for everything you've done via sharing while you grow yourself, and every new thing you learn, you share. I appreciate it. It's fun. I find it very fun, and I appreciate it. People like you that pop in and watch along. It means a lot. Okay, let's see. Because there's going to be less light, it's going to be getting into this fella's mouth. He's got quite a dark crevasse of a mouth. I'd finished the animation by then, just had to do all the sound design. Oh man. I've done it, yeah, I've done that multiple times. It's kind of like that sick feeling where you see the sunrise, the birds start chirping, and you're like, oh man. It's this isn't what we're meant to be doing as humans. I remember my first website that I made. I just said, yep, I'm going to be making a website and I'm not going to go to sleep until it's done. And I did it. It was a shitty little WordPress website that I used for... I used to sell... buy and sell phones, like mobile phones, in my teenage years. So I wanted to have my own website to list them. So I'd put the listings on Gumtree, which is our version, I think, of like Craigslist. And which didn't make any sense, because why would it, like, I just wanted to get some traffic to the website. So I said, okay, here's the listing on Gumtree. You need to go to this link to go to my website to get the price and the contact details and whatever. You know what is an unsung masterpiece that came from a Dark Horse studio and that IIRC never made another movie again? The Iron Giant, yeah. The film that made me fall in love with animation. True. I hope that thing you're drinking isn't gasoline, my friend. Definitely not. Just plain old coffee. Blend 43 or whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called. I remember leading environments on a Raid Shadow Legends project. Nice. Going to sleep at 6 a.m. then having to go to a 9 a.m. Oh. Was it an in-person meeting? Because that would almost be easier. Versus like a zoom. Because then you got to like pretend to be like alert. Man, that's brutal though. Was it called Flip Phone? No. It should have been. I like the branding. No, it was called the Phone Trade. I think. Phone Trade or the Phone Trade or something. I don't know. Didn't last long, but that was my foray into internet business, I guess. Not a very successful business, mind you. Okay, Shock, how you doing? I mean, not a Dark Horse studio, but Warner hasn't done much in the way of animation to compete with Disney and Pixar since The Iron Giant. It was like their last great animated film. I think there's going to be some interesting developments in the coming years with more... this is pure speculation as well. I have no insider knowledge of it. But with the more 2D feeling animation, I think a lot of people kind of gel with that look. This stream is profoundly sponsored by the mighty Flip Phone. I remember when I got a Motorola Razr. I thought I was the coolest kid ever. Oh, I remember when you could get ringtones that weren't mono. They sounded kind of pretty close to this song. And I was just like, hell yeah. Give me some AC/DC, Back in Black. So when people text, it was just like, but it still sounded shit compared to today. But good times. I remember opening my first iPhone. It was a... What was it? iPod Touch was the first touchscreen thing that I had. It was like magic. It's like, what even... I didn't even know really what to do with it. I was like, okay, now what? Because that was the whole thing. It's like how... like tactile it was. Sony's been on their game recently regarding animation. I agree. Why you kind of look like my French teacher? That's not very nice. Remember slide phones? I don't think I was... They didn't catch on much here. From memory. At least from, like, where I'm from. He's just slapped them closed. Savage. Right now they're using those ringtones as samples to make songs, yeah. Same, I was in college and saved up to get an iPod Touch, and I was so excited. How exciting was it? It was amazing. Jose, how you doing from Argentina? And then I had like the app where you could like drink, and it was like beer, and it would like empty. And I thought that was the coolest thing. Let's do a cheeky little zoom in. Let's see what we can do here. Whoa. So it's still with the same brush. Nothing's changed. Nothing's... Not doing anything special. Got whacked by a ram the other day. Oh. In my head, I thought it was like a Dodge Ram. I was like, Jesus, you alright? Have you had any weird animal interactions over there? Many. I almost got charged by a kangaroo when I was about 12 years old. That wasn't fun. What else? I got inked by a squid. What else? Went kayaking near here and got scared shitless because I thought it was a shark that was swimming beside me. Turns out it was a dolphin, which was nice. But your first instincts are not, oh, what a lovely dolphin. Your first instinct is this massive shadow coming underneath you. The adrenaline dump on that is something else. JK Studios. Buenas. Tachido. No idea what I just said, but hello, how you doing? Bolicha. I like the purple in the ambient occlusion. Thank you. I love with my darker tones. I like mixing it up a little bit, you know. Popping the saturation. Ambient occlusion is such a good tool. You see the video of the guy parachuting and immediately get mauled by kangaroos? Yes, I did. That's what kangaroos can be like. Yeah, they're all fluffy and cute until they're not. I would never go up to one in the wild, like a big red, which I think those ones were, maybe. The grey kangaroos are a little bit more placid from what I understand. But yeah, you're not to be messing with the big reds. Those are the guys that look like they're on gear, and they've got like massive like pecs and shoulders, and they're just like. Jeremiah, just want to say your works are awesome. I appreciate it, Jeremiah. Thanks for the kind words. I've seen a few kangaroo videos, actually terrifying. Yeah. Troll artist, thank you. Over here, we aren't showing that side of him. That's it. That's the thing. You got to be careful, because I think there has been an instance. It's rare, but it has happened where they'll actually, because they've got such a kick, to them, and they've got like a nail, like a single, like toe, that someone's stomach has been ripped open. Because they got up on the tail and just went boom. So I'm not out here being anti-kangaroo, mind you. I love them. They're fantastic. You just got to respect them. Harvey Gratrol, watching from Panama. You're right as a mate. Thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. Nightish Kid Art, your shape choice are great. Actually makes you want to draw. Really. Oh, thank you. You're too kind. Yeah, I think now looking at it, I think we could really get. I'm gonna be sneaky. I'm gonna do a little bit of smudging. Okay. Doing some smudging. Whoa, that kind of looks cool. It was a mistake. It kind of looks cool. Gave me an idea, potentially, to put a little bit more blue in the lights. Like, what if the lights had just a little bit more blue that reflected off of the background? That's kind of nice. I don't hate it. All right, I'm going to be back in 2 moments. Ooh. We are back. Leonardo Ruiz. Hi Ben, recommend your course in Procreate, as in do I recommend it? Yeah. Definitely. Kelbell, any wild animal that can sit on its tail and kick me with both legs, I'm not messing with. Exactly. Unless they're lying down. Because they do a lot of this. They're kind of chill. Right? They'll just be lying down for a lot of the day. And they just look really comfy. And then you can go up to them and pat them. But only in like the little sanctuaries that we've got here. I wouldn't be doing that in real life. What's that massive bird again? The what is that? It's like the prehistoric looking thing. They're native to here. I can't. What's wrong with me? Sam coming in clutch. Cassowary, yeah, they scared the shit out of me. I'm all good with them. Do you actually put bots and gloves on kangaroos and have them fight? I think people did back in the day, which is fucking terrible. Cassowary, yeah, not sure I'm spelling either. All I know is they're like dinosaurs. If you look at them up close, they are literally just bloody dinosaurs. would like to add a little bit. Now we need to really start modeling this a little bit more. It's a little bit too high key. I live in the southwest of the USA. We have scorpions and snakes, coyotes that eat stray cats or small dogs. See, that's the thing. Everyone thinks it's Australia that has all the scary animals. America, you've got bloody little wolves running around, little coyotes. You've actually got wolves. You've got bears that will rip your face off. I don't know what all the hubbub is about Australia having all the most dangerous animals, you know? But I said this many times, the most deadly animal that scares me is the blue-ringed octopus. That one is not to be messed with at all. Under any circumstances, do not go near one. Do not go looking for them. Because we don't have any anti-venom for them. Yeah, you're right, Sam. Yes, some people find it difficult to believe that dinosaurs really roamed the earth, but if you look at a cassowary, an emu, a kangaroo, a platypus, or a croc, and it's not that much of a stretch. No, even giraffe, how big they are, they give me dinosaur vibes, even though they're not. Dang, over here where I am, the worst creatures and are roaches and spiders. And roaches, they're not even going to do anything to you. They spotted a great white in Santa Monica. Yeah. Ay. That's why I'd love to surf. I really would. Surfing sounds like so much fun. But I just know if I don't, there's 100% chance of me never getting eaten by a shark. It's the megalodon that does it for me. Sharks already freak me out. Massive sharks? No thanks, yeah. Thankfully, we have cats in my country, and since no animal dares challenge them, they're at the top of the food chain. Nice. Nice one. All right, I'm going to start. I'm going to just do a quick pass with the multiply layer just to knock some of this down a little bit. Just the values, just knock them down ever so slightly, so then we can bring them back up. So I can even come through and erase some of this as well. No one believes me when I mention how dodo birds evolved from pigeons. Jeremiah, I notice your values have a sculpture-like quality to them. Do you 3D sculpt as well? I certainly do. Yep. It was one of the most valuable skill sets that I acquired, or that I've been trying to acquire, or I should say. You're never done. But to help with my 2D work and the understanding of light and shadow and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very, very helpful. Because there is something, there's one thing to create the illusion of 3D form here, right? But then it's another thing to actually feel it and hold it in your hands. And then it's like, things can just click that little bit easier, you know? Let's see what we can do. I want them to pop out just a little bit from the background. Now we're giving him a little bit of dimension. How many hours does One Piece fuck. How many hours does One Piece usually take? It really depends. It really, really depends. I find each individual artist, it varies a lot. Yep. This is what I'm talking about with the subtleties in the midtones and the form. Right, your eye almost can't distinguish the value change. Like if you're not looking for them, your eye might miss some of these like value changes. So it can be pretty subtle. For me, usually 8 to 48 hours. That's a fair. That could be around like an average for me. If I'm trying to finish something, you know. I love all these little like occlusion, shadowy kind of things, because these all show form as well. Like all these little bits and bobs. Camilo, welcome back. That highlight on the noggin, chef's kiss. Oh no, I do love a good little highlight. I particularly like these ones. You can really like sharpen them up. Hey Ben, it's been ages since I joined one of your streams. Glad to see you've kept the spirit of making art. Oh, always. Hope you've been well. Marlon, let's give that a go. Me pasa igual cuando lo veo. Además, me anima a volver a dibujar. Te queremos, Ben. No clue what I just said, but how you doing, Marlon? Mi casa, su casa, bro. Javom, thank you very much. Now let's try something here. Let's test this out. Is something... This upside down for some reason made me think of that dinosaur. Movie, show, I can't remember. But just like the color. But this just helps me spot any inconsistencies with my forms. Ryan I know you said we're going to draw me, but nah, dude. Candace, what is your biggest aha moment for art in recent years? Very good question. Damn, hablamos español ahora? Again, I don't know what I just said. I just like speaking it. You can tell me, you can say whatever you want and I'll just repeat it. Actually, no, I won't. Because you have some cheeky bugger pop in here and say something. Yeah, biggest aha moment. That's a good question. One of the bigger ones is, and we'll get into this in some later sessions, Candace, but like in the workshop, but that like every hue, like all the hues, the pure color, let's say, here, they've all got a different value, just in their purest form. All right, so if I do this, lay them out, that's like full saturation, everything, right? We go black and white, they're all different values. Now that gives me a lot of information to play with and helps inform certain decisions that I'm making. One as an example is if I'm wanting a really bright, vibrant, darker tone, I'm probably not going to reach for the yellows. Because if I come here with this really vibrant, violety blue sort of color, and I want something as deep and as intense as that as a yellow, that's not going to be possible, because if I get something that I want that's yellow, that has yellow in it, but it's that same value or similar value, if I get my yellow and I throw it here, way too bright. It's too much, it's too high in the saturation. If I knock this down to a similar sort of value, even it's going to be even darker. It's going to be like a green almost, right? So something to take into account there. It goes a lot deeper, but that was probably like here of recent memory, my biggest aha moment in painting in particular. Hopefully that makes sense. That's some James Gurney palette knowledge drop right there. But this is the thing, right? I've like read all the books, but I've like read books and that sort of stuff. And it's only at certain points in time where things kind of click. It's not like they're like asynchronously, like light bulbs go off later on. Even though I've read James Gurney's Color and Light and this and that. It's interesting because it doesn't just hit all at once and it's like, all right, cool, you read the book, you do some exercises and now you understand. It's like, no, it takes some time to percolate, and it might be a certain way that someone else says it or in a particular example, you know? Now, this chin, one of his many, I think we could curve that into a little bit more of a darker value. Yeah, Scott Robertson's rendering book helped as well. But again, it's like very dense as well. So nothing really clicked straight away. the halfway to black I heard all over the place. And it wasn't until I went back and read Scott Robinson's book that I realized that he mentioned it already. So it's why I value like learning from a bunch of different people. Artistic, how you doing? Evangelia, great to have you. Thanks for the chats. What we could do as well. Is clean up our edges around the outside. No. Yeah. Then here. Just a little bit of an indication of that form. Because the silhouette is very, very important with some of this rendering stuff as well. I think I have a similar realization after watching Marco Bucci's video on color vibrations. That's a fantastic video. That's a very good video. But understanding the concept and applying it to my art is two different things. Very true. Very true. That's the tricky part, right? Because if the theory was just like knowing or just like being exposed to the information, then it'd be fairly straightforward to just do what the masters do, right? Yeah, Marco Bucci's a legend. Lovely fella as well. Really nice. Had the pleasure of meeting him at a Lightbox last year. It's funny, people thought I was a lot shorter in real life. I got that comment a lot. It's like, oh man, I thought you were shorter. I've got short vibes on the internet apparently. Nothing wrong with that. Jero, you're too kind. Yeah, probably 2 and a bit, maybe coming on 3 years now with the like more stylized stuff, right? Isn't the thing you're talking about Marco Bucci's Proco video? What one's that? Is it the most recent one? If so, I'm not sure I've seen that one, but I think Marco's talked about this before. A lot of people talked about that, like each color has value, but that was a real eye-opener for me. Particularly when I was trying to make when I was looking at John Assaro's work. If you look at his work, the dude that created the original Assaro head, like the let's have a look. Jonasaro art. There we go. Is that safe for YouTube? Yeah, she's got a leotard on. Okay, so just double check. Yeah, like that, right? That's the right. I love it. So cool, and it's all just a play with value and saturation, and having that understanding of simplification, like here in the shadows, right? There's no detail in here, right? We're having a look at the edges of both the form shadow and the cast shadow, right? And understanding that as he's going up in value, it gets a little more desaturated. So here's the most, like the brightest part, right? With all the highlights is the most desaturated as it sort of rolls in to the form and into the sort of form shadow, and then you got the cast shadow here. It gets like super saturated. It's just cool that you can play with that, and it's still, you know exactly what you're looking at. It's not ambiguous. It's, yeah, very, very cool. Camillo, I don't know if you've been bombarded with the same question. I have, but I'm happy to answer. But what kind of future do you think awaits digital artists? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. It's a big industry, right? I would start thinking of yourself as less as a digital artist and just an artist in general, because there's so many avenues you can go in. You can take the route that I have, the more social media, sharing your discoveries, right? Sharing the stuff that interests you, and then people start hopping on board. I think sometimes because like I'm just interested in something, and I get like energy from like sharing what I've found. So there shows a little bit of me as the artist and the art at the same time, which I think there's something interesting there. But there's so much. I would recommend thinking of yourself less as like a particular medium artist, if that makes sense. And I'm not really one to be too clued into the what would you say, your traditional art like industries, like your studio gigs and your like even gallery artists and that kind of thing. I'm really not familiar with that whole process in general of what it looks like, what it's like to work in those environments. Kind of just trying to figure it out on my own, so I can only talk to my experience really. But yeah, I would if you're concerned, right, my advice would be to start thinking of yourself less as, well, not even just thinking of yourself, your practice, right? Less as a particular medium artist, right? I'm a digital artist. It's like, nah, I'm an artist and this is what I like. And then you choose the medium of your choice. If that makes sense. Yeah, without more specific questions, Like without more specifics on like what you mean by like digital artist and in what industry and blah blah blah, it's hard to really give my 2 cents. But hopefully that made a bit of sense. But I think there is an opportunity when a lot of people are gone one way for you to zag the other way, right? If there's a whole bunch of people going to like the AI route and that's going to flood the market, what can you do to be the standout? You know, that can look like a bunch of different things. I watched the video Learning Color Temperature Will Change How You Paint. It was really good. Is that a Bucci one? Sounds like a Bucci one. Hafu. Hi Ben. When putting highlights, do you imagine the light in 3D space, for example, the yellow rim light? In my mind, should it hit the tip of the nose as well? Thank you for the streams. Of course, thank you for popping in. So light, man, we've just done the job of the heart this whole stream. I had a whole plan of doing other stuff, but here we are. So this is a completely separate light source without going too much into like crazy light theory stuff. This is a completely separate light source. You can almost imagine it maybe in the background here. Right behind the jobber. No, I didn't want to open that. Thank you very much. Let's move you out the way. Thank you. So there's like a light source behind here, somewhere behind him. Right? And then there's another, maybe like a blue light source, potentially somewhere over here. Right? And then there's like a softer kind of light source above him. So there's like multiple light sources that we're dealing with here. And depending on the material properties is going to be how much of that highlight or the specular reflection is going to be seen. This specular reflection here has got nothing to do with this light source back behind here that's giving this rim light, if that makes sense. This specular reflection is going to be based on what's up above here, right? It's a good question though. Yeah, the medium becomes blurry once the subject matter becomes more important than the software, medium, etc. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think there's going to be a premium put on human-made art as well. Even more so. So I'm trying to like consolidate some of these shapes. A little bit line decory, a little bit Rockwell-esque potentially. Now Rockwell was a lot more realistic driven from what I can think of. Where line decker was a lot more, okay, let's really decide that this shape right here is going to be like, if we get our opacity up to like 100, like this here is a very delineated shape. And within this shape, there could be like gradients and all that kind of stuff. Right, maybe here. There's like a nice little specker, whatever, color. This is a night, like I want to do some of these sculpts myself. I want to get back into doing some more sculpts and then bringing them into stream and studying them. Because there's so much information that you can get from these. Particularly if they're one material. Because I got confused when I was learning this stuff, and I still do, if I'm honest. When you have like multiple different materials, multiple things that you've got to try and carry in your head. And it's why the like the old masters and stuff, they did the cast studies with just like the porcelain or like the pure white. The plaster, that's it. The plaster casts. Let's flip him upside down. Flip him upside down again. So every plane there's going to be a change in value. So let's see if we. Yeah, I'm going to use the smudge tool to really smudge out some of these. But you can go overboard with the smudge tool, real easy. All right, we don't want to do that too much. One little trick, if you are using the smudge tool and it's not working how you want it to, hop into the brush settings, right, and just increase the scattering, which gives it a more even. Christian, tomorrow's another day, my friend. Tomorrow is another day to talk yourself into it, because you have that as a history in your search. You've probably been looking it up on YouTube. There might be a review that pops up. You know how this works. Have you thought about we'll see how my next YouTube videos go. Oh, you went to test drive them. It's not just you've brought it into reality. It's game over. Game over, my friend. Oh. Have you thought about the what I was talking to you about the other day, the retrofitting your current bike or like an older bike? Because that could be an option that's a little bit more cost effective. Thinking of picking one up, Emily could ride on the back of. Yep. You get a tandem. That would be that would be sick. See, what can make some of this rendering a little messy looking is some of these, like opacity is great, but sometimes you get that kind of crossover between different shapes, and they can kind of muddy the values a little bit. So just coming back through and being really careful with the decisions. I might even do a cheeky little filthy plugin. A Tommy Vercetti quote goes like, nice bike. Der five in dis bow shooter. Don't know what that means. I'm also amped for Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to be doing some streams where I'll pause it, we'll play it, we'll pause it, and we'll do some environment studies. Maybe even some character studies. That'd be cool. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm really just making a decision between these shapes. here I think could be slightly brighter. Just a smidge. Oh, that's what Jabba says. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Will you be doing GTA 6 streams, Ben? Yeah, you know it. But we're going to be doing art GTA streams. We're going to be cruising around, different times of day. We're going to be doing some studies. What does Bo shoulda mean? Has that been translated? I'm sure it has. Bo shoulda what? What should have Bo done? So if we, let's try this. Make sure that this is feeling rounded. Let me start carving in some of these. Now the mistake, you might think, okay, I can see a ledge here on these like little carvings, right? And then you go up here and then you pick that color and then it's like, yeah, cool. That's way too bright. Right, so we want to make sure that we're subtle with it. So that it still fits in with the logic of the light. And then we can come through with the slight darker value to give that illusion of the sculpted little texture bits. It basically means welcome. Oh, there you go. I bought the new version of Rebel last week. Have you tried that program? I have very briefly. It is pretty cool. They did reach out to me ages ago, I think, to give it a shot. I just didn't have time. But it looks like a pretty sick program from like the brush engine. Seems pretty awesome. How have you been finding it? Isn't like Rebel 11? I think from memory. Haven't given it a good try yet, but it has the new bristle brush engine where each bristle... Say that 10 times fast. I haven't given it a good try yet, but it has that new bristle brush engine where each bristle can basically make its own unique mark. That's sick. That's very cool. Kind of reminds me of Zuma Deluxe. Zuma Deluxe. Whoa. This is a blast from the past. Whoa. Camilla, you're not wrong. Do you guys ever remember playing this game? Yeah, wow. Haven't thought of this in forever. Good call. But this is what I'm talking about with like the subtleties in the midtones, right? Been really careful with our value placements. Jeremiah, I know, right? It's oh wow. I remember my mum used to play that, and I was like, oh yeah. Just like sit and watch her play. And the new Nano Pixel 2 means you can basically scale up an image 2000% lossless. Yeah. I did remember seeing that. Means if you have a low-res image, you can scale it up for printing. Even works on images you already have. That's pretty sick. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to give it a shot. Pushing that angular shape on the eye sockets. No, appreciate it, Jeremiah. Keeping close attention, I see. I really think we can pump some of this color a little bit as well. Yeah, we've got white. Like, I've just lost myself in this. Sorry if this is boring, because I wanted to do a couple of other things, but this is it's been quite fun for me, actually. See, because we've set up all our lights in a semi-believable way, we can start adding these nice little texture bits where it makes sense. How do you make the marquee tool fill color? Cheeky plug. I've got a plugin called the Filthy Plugin. The link is in the description. You can do it by yourself with, I believe it's, you use the lasso tool and then you go, paint bucket and then throw it in. You can do it that way as well. Nothing wrong with that. But it's more of a efficiency thing. Anders Rhythm, how you doing? Never would have thought to add such a high saturation color in the shadows. Nice touch. Definitely stealing that for my next painting. Do it. Yeah, that's why it's a fun thing to do, particularly in the darks. Like I could whip in like a super saturated like red even to like contrast off. You know what I mean? Maybe not that intense, but I find in the darkest darks or right next to the darkest darks, you can get away with a lot of funny business when it comes to the saturation of colors. And sometimes even the values you can move away from what's quote unquote like correct. Ah, you're too kind, Orkin. Josh, believe it or not, Jubba used to be a model back in the day. Chiseled jawline and everything. Jubba the Hot. What happened? I'll sort of come in here and take a look at some of this surface texture. It's interesting, all the little things that you can see. Just like slight little, because it's clay, it's not like perfect. So all these little variations in the form we can play with. Roxart, you're my inspiration. Thank you so much. One day I'll join you from start to finish. I follow your YouTube streams, just seeing you do it. You do IG ones too. Fantastic, Rox. Appreciate the kind words. Jeremiah, not sure if someone asked, have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters? The color palette and designs are insane. I haven't yet. I haven't. I will have to check that out, definitely. All right, I reckon. Shit, it's 1 o'clock. Well, we've gone. We just got. Well, I just got lost in this one. A lot of fun. I would love to just keep noodling on this for ages, but I do have to head off. With that said, as we wind down, if you do like if you do like what you're what you're seeing with the more stylized stuff, check the links in the description. You know what to do. You're smart people. I don't have to tell you where all the stuff is, where you can find me. You want to check out the Filthy plugin that I'm using right now. Links in the description. All my stuff. Links in the description. Thank you once again for popping in, allowing me to ramble, allowing me to practice. For those that are in the chat, chatting away, appreciate you. For those that aren't, the lurkers, appreciate you just as much. Oh, I just want to do this one little thing here. Really bring out these forms. Really cut in here. Yeah, this is a fun one. Not expected. I thought I was going to do a lot more different stuff, but you never know what you're going to get. I appreciate you, Adiola. He's a lot more wrinkly now. Yeah, we could have pushed the values a little more, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But it is what it is. It's like drawing with a friend. That's good. That's good. It's good to know. It'd be interesting to hear, like, yeah, you guys working on stuff as you watch these streams? I'd imagine so. I can't imagine someone's just sitting there watching me blab on without doing something else, you know? I always think about these as being like, do stuff in the background kind of streams. I think I'm overworking it a little bit. Thank you, Slugsy. Hope you're posting your artwork on Discord. I haven't yet, but it might be something to get into the habit of doing. But anyone that wants to, you can join the Discord. Feel free. Good bunch of people in there. All right, I'm going to be noodling on this forever if I don't. Hold on. This is the curse, right? This is the... where you just can't stop going. No Christmas right now. No, get... There's also a new channel in the Discord for your own sort of social media promotion as well. So if you've got stuff going on, you can whip it in there as well. No spamming, just general rules, just common sense, right? Okay, look, that's enough. But I do want to... No, I've just got to stop. I've got to stop. All right, with that, thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to bounce, grab something to eat. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Great start to your week. And I'll catch you same time next week, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time on a Monday. Sunday, around 4, maybe 5 even p.m. PST. Somewhere around there. Same time each week. Adro, hey, just got to this channel. What is this about? We just hang out, we do art stuff. And that's the most vague explanation of what I do. But yeah, you can check out some past streams if you want. Catch out that Artistic, catch out that Candace, Orkin, Jeremiah, everyone in chat, everyone not in chat, you bloody legends, and I'll catch you in the next one. Now we do the awkward in between before I stop the stream. Okay.